Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about the latest deal from Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Once again, the big box stores have canceled their orders simply because they don't agree with Mike Lindell's politics. They don't like it because he supports President Trump. Well, he's going to pass that savings on to you. No more middleman. And boy, does he have some great deals on the Giza Dream sheets and the Percal bed sheets. Listen to this. Giza Dream queen size, normally $139.98. Your wholesale price, $69.99 when you use promo code Joey. King size, only $79.99. The Percal queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price, $29.98 when you use promo code Joey. Just call 1-800-893-4059 or go to mypillow.com. Always use promo code Joey. Free shipping options available. This allotment's not going to last very long. When they're gone, they're gone. mypillow.com. Promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Welcome in. Thanks for joining me today. Got a lot to cover, as always. Been a busy week this week. On his way back to the States aboard Air Force One, President Trump ripped the, quote, luxury hotels that thousands of illegals have called home while American citizens are living from hand to mouth, in the president's words. We have the latest on his thoughts on illegal immigration. FBI Director Kash Patel says he uncovered a hidden trove of documents tied to the Trump-Russia probe in a secret room in what is called burn bags, meaning they were set to be destroyed but somehow have survived. Former Vice President Kamala Harris announces her decision on California governor's race. What do you think? Is she in or is she out? And a South Carolina Policy Council poll shows how the 2026 South Carolina governor's race is shaping up. And we have some of the results to share with you. You might be surprised with some of those results.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Once again, President Trump is saying what millions of Americans have been thinking for a long time now. Why in the world are we housing illegal immigrants in luxury hotels while American citizens, hardworking folks, veterans, families are struggling to afford groceries, rent, and a place to sleep? We have our own American citizens who are facing homelessness, but yet illegals are put up in luxury hotels. And if you think that sounds extreme, well, buckle up. President Trump spoke on Air Force One this week. He's wrapping up his 4-day visit to Scotland. He was asked about the ongoing immigration crisis, not just in the United States, but also over in the UK. A reporter referenced Britain's growing frustration with migrants being put up in hotels there as well. Seems to be a worldwide event. Of course, at taxpayer expense, just like here. The reporter even joked about whether the UK needed its own version of alligator Alcatraz. Of course, that's the nickname for the migrant detention facility that's tucked deep in the Florida Everglades. Trump didn't miss a beat. His response was typical Trump, sharp, frank, and dead on.
It's just that, they're putting people in luxury hotels and other people that are working their asses off are living, from hand to mouth. They're not living the same way. I mean, I looked at some of the hotels they're using, and they've done it in our country also. They'd put them in like the best hotels anywhere in the world because they could get rooms there. Thousands of dollars a night. And other people are living out on the streets, including our veterans. They can't get a room. Our veterans are living on the streets. There are pictures of our veterans staying right by the door where they're walking in to live. And the veterans are sitting out on the sidewalk in front of a fancy hotel. And the illegals are coming into that hotel and staying there for a week.
And, of course, he's not wrong, is he? I mean, let's face the facts here. And let's deal with facts and not feelings. Let's get the numbers. I did a little research. In New York City alone, over 232,000 migrants have come pouring in since the spring of 2022, one of the times that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris just opened the floodgates, welcomed them in, put the word out that they would be welcomed and put up in a hotel? Would they be fed? They'd be given transportation? I mean, think about that. That's nearly 250,000 people flooding into New York City. A whole lot of them have ended up in hotels, real hotels, not shelters, not tents, but full-on hotels that used to serve business travelers and tourists. Remember the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan? A historic building, nearly 1,000 rooms. It got turned into a massive shelter and one of the processing centers for illegals there. It reportedly processed 173,000 migrants since May of last year, and that's just one location. And by the way, I discovered this little tidbit too. Not that it matters, but maybe it does. The Roosevelt evidently is owned by the government of Pakistan. You heard that right. A foreign government owns the hotel we're using to house illegal migrants at American taxpayers' expense. We're using our tax dollars to pay a Pakistani-owned hotel. Billions of dollars. That's how much New York City taxpayers have shelled out. And what do they have to show for it? Overflowing shelters still. Public parks turned into encampments. School gyms closed for emergency housing. And yes, stories of veterans and homeless citizens being pushed aside. Not to mention the chaos that it causes in those neighborhoods. Back when we first learned that the Roosevelt had been turned into an illegal immigrant center, I walked by one day on one of my visits up there, and they're just loitering outside of the street. I mean, you couldn't even go by the hotel on that side of the street. It was a scary place. You didn't want to be on that side of the street. It really didn't want to be in the neighborhood. Now, let's be clear here. Some stories, like the homeless veterans being kicked out of the hotels in upstate New York, turned out to be inaccurate. But there have been many other stories that were true. But even with those claims that are exaggerated, the broader trend is still disturbing. We know military families were burnt from hotel bookings in Massachusetts. We know hotel rooms are being reserved across the country, sometimes without notice, to house people who are here illegally. And President Trump is asking the same question the rest of us are. How is this fair? And you think about it. You work your rear end off to provide your family, pay your taxes, follow the law, and then watch as someone who crossed the border illegally gets a free room or a hotel room that you're helping pay for. Now, let's zoom in a bit here. President Trump wasn't just making noise on this. He's trying to connect the dots. He pointed out that this is part of a much larger failure, not just in America, but in Western countries too, like UK, where he was coming from. Open border policies, endless loopholes in the asylum system, and weak leadership have created a situation where illegal immigration is rewarded and working class citizens get the shaft. We foot the bill. And guess what? The American people woke up last year, and that's why they returned Donald Trump back to the Oval Office. You don't have to be a Republican to understand that this doesn't add up. You just have to look around. Crime is up in cities that are overwhelmed by migrant surges. Public schools are stretched thin. Emergency rooms are packed. Emergency rooms are becoming their primary care. And there's not enough housing for people who already live here, never mind hundreds of thousands of newcomers with no plan, no ID, and no support structure. They're just here to get whatever they can get. A better life. Can't blame them for that. But they just can't do it here. The Democrats, what are they doing? Well, some are doubling down. They're trying to open more hotel shelters. They're trying to use military bases to house migrants. Military bases, as if soldiers and their families aren't already dealing with enough. You got blue states like California and New York. Taxpayers are paying for the food, the clothing, even legal help for people who skipped the line and broke the law. They're having to pay for legal help to try to get them attorneys for asylum. Is that really the America that we know? Is that really the America that we want? No. And we said that loud and clear in November. Now, I know that what critics are going to say, that it's inhumane to let people sleep on the streets. Well, it is. American citizens shouldn't be sleeping on the streets because we favor the illegals more than we do some of the Americans. And look, nobody is proposing that we be inhumane to people. We're just saying they have to respect our law, prioritize Americans, restore sanity to the system. And President Trump gets that. That's why during his first term, he cracked down on border crossings, tightened asylum loopholes, and pushed for stronger enforcement. Under his new administration, we're seeing those policies return, this time with a bigger budget and broader support, and hopefully on a permanent basis. Under the new One Big Beautiful Bill, ICE is ramping up enforcement. They're hiring. They're expanding tracking. And yes, they're finally looking at rolling back the hotel strategy in favor of more secure and cost-effective alternatives. Look, make it to where it's not comfortable and they'll self-deport. You put them up in a hotel, they're going to stay there as long as you'll let them. But you make it to where it's not quite comfortable, then maybe they'll go looking for housing someplace else. Maybe they'll decide, hey, it's better to go back where we came from. Let's try to do this right. And, of course, all the people, the naysayers who don't like Donald Trump are still saying, well, this is America. America doesn't treat people like that. Well, look, it's real simple. We're in a time of America first. Whether it's a veteran sleeping on a bench outside the Roosevelt Hotel who shouldn't be there, we got to take care of him first. If it's a mother working 2 jobs who can't get housing assistance because she's not eligible, we got to take care of her first. Americans have been pushed to the back of the line, and President Trump is saying enough is enough. The American people are saying enough is enough, and that's where we are right now. We're not going to be inhumane to these people, but we're going to help them get back to their own country so that we can take care of our own in a better fashion. Joey Hudson here. America is facing a health crisis, and the answer isn't more meds. I lost over 30 pounds on the PhD weight loss plan without Ozempic or any weight loss shots. Don't settle for a lifetime of medication. GLP-1 injections like Ozempic help some people lose weight, but they come with side effects, high cost, and most gain it back when they stop. At PhD Weight Loss, we reveal Big Pharma's big secret. Your body already makes GLP-1, the appetite-fighting hormone. Our program helps your body make it naturally so you'll drop the pounds faster. With the PhD method, no side effects, no long-term risk, no rebound weight gain, just natural, lasting results, all without hunger or cravings. Right now, get a free body scan and personalized metabolic assessment. Discover your body's true potential without a shot. It's free and gives you the keys to your personalized plan. Do like I did and don't trade your health for a quick fix. Call now at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com. 2026 is going to be quite interesting as we have some statewide races on the ballot here in South Carolina. The one that's most watched, of course, is that of the governor. With current Governor Henry McMaster term limited, he will not be on the ballot next year, which has opened up a crowded race with a little less than a year before the GOP primary, which will most likely determine the race. We haven't had a Democrat governor since the fluke of a win by Jim Hodges back in 1998 when he defeated David Beasley. So let's talk about the showdown for South Carolina's governor's mansion in 2026. It's early, but the race is already promising some fireworks. Let's start with some polling data that has conservative circles buzzing, really just kind of scratching your head. A new survey from the South Carolina Policy Council, which is a respected nonpartisan research group, shows that one name at the top of the pile, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, is a bit puzzling. She isn't even officially in the race yet. She's been teasing that she might run. But according to this poll, she's already polling at 16% among Republican voters in a hypothetical primary field. Trailing just behind her, according to the poll, is South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson at 15%. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett comes in at 8%. And Congressman Ralph Norman, who just joined the race this past Sunday, comes in at 6%. State Senator Josh Kimball is behind at about 3%. And the rest are undecided because they just don't quite know enough about who's running or about the race to make a decision. Right now, over half of Republican voters, 52%, have not made up their mind, which is normal. Again, we're almost a year out of the GOP primary. So people have to talk to the candidates, listen to the candidates, see the candidates to decide exactly how they're going to vote. But let's think about just a moment about Nancy Mace. She's a firebrand. She's refusing to sit idly by while the state goes woke, according to her. That's how she puts it. Over the weekend, she teased that big things are ahead in a social media graphic. She seems to be more interested and more concerned about clicks on social media than anything else. I mean, some of her antics recently really have people wondering, is she a serious candidate? According to the poll, she's very serious. People are taking her serious. She's really appealing to the MAGA base with some of the things that she's talking about. Her message to South Carolinians is blunt. She might be forced to run because she cannot stand by and watch conservative values slip away. Again, her words, not mine. But this kind of rhetoric plays well. A majority of GOP voters, 53%, say that anti-woke messaging is very important in their candidate choice, according to other polling. Mace is striking that chord loud and clear. So who is Nancy Mace? Well, what kind of record does she have? She flipped South Carolina's first congressional district from blue to red in 2020. Then she coasted to re-election again in 2022. That had a double-digit margin. She backed President Donald Trump in 2024 in the GOP presidential primary, even though fellow South Carolinian Nikki Haley, former governor, was in that race. And that loyalty to Trump and her challenger credentials has earned her national headlines and further conservative value. Now, Alan Wilson has already formally entered the race as well, the state attorney general. He has great experience. He has the reputation as a tough prosecutor. Some might say, compared to Nancy Mace, though, he's a little calm, which he is. And that's probably reflected in the poll. But it's interesting to watch because Mace so far has left Lieutenant Governor Abbott and Ralph Norman, although he just joined Senator Josh Kimball. She is positioning this as a head-to-head battle against Alan Wilson. She's criticized his record, especially on sentencing leniency in some high-profile cases. She's painting him as part of the establishment that she wants to clean up. And, I mean, that's pretty bold, considering that he has the backing of many party insiders. In fact, the friction between these two is already in full public view. Wilson fired back after Mace made some remarks about liberal votes in her past, calling her claims categorically false and accused her of distracting from pressing statewide issues. So even before the official campaign launch, we're seeing this heated battle between these two candidates. Now, maybe this helps the others. Maybe this helps Representative Norman, Lieutenant Governor Abbott, as they're just quietly out there building alliances and talking to voters. Let Nancy Mace and Alan Wilson fight it out. Representative Norman's going to be a strong candidate. He has some strong endorsements. Former Senator Jim DeMint, Nikki Haley. Now, I don't know how strong of an endorsement Nikki Haley is these days, but still, she's a former governor, former UN ambassador. Lieutenant Governor Abbott enjoys the advantages of incumbency. She's done a good job as lieutenant governor. She's built her brand on education reform. She's been all over the state at all the ribbon cuttings, worked hand in hand with a lot of businesses, economic development. So you can't count Pamela Abbott out of the race either. From the Democrat side, there's no viable candidate on the horizon, and I don't see one coming. Again, I get back to, since South Carolina is a solid red state, winning the Republican primary next June is going to win the governorship. Cook Political Report lists the open race as solid Republican. Not a chance that a Jim Hodge is going to come in and surprising and pull a surprise upset like he did against David Beasley back in the day. So what are the issues that will define the race? Education, and wokeism, government size and efficiency. There's a lot of people interested in South Carolina having their own Doge. National alignment with Trump. Who's going to get the Trump endorsement, or does Donald Trump even endorse a candidate? And, of course, it costs money. Politics is expensive. Who can raise the money? Mace reportedly has already raised over $1 million in early contributions. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott raised $1 million in 24 hours after her endorsement. Representative Norman has a proven track record of raising whatever money he needs to win a campaign. So it's going to be quite interesting. We're going to follow it. We'll have all of them on the show between now and next June. But here's one thing for sure. You can expect some fireworks. It's a story that's been with us all week. We have a quick update for you from the D.W. Daniel High School football saga that we've been talking about literally since Monday. Just as a refresher, you had a group of football players from Daniel High School in upstate South Carolina at a Fellowship of Christian Athletes summer camp at Presbyterian College, which is in Lawrence County. 3 young black boys on this team beat a teammate, a white teammate. It was recorded. There's been a couple of different videos released. The victim, according to reports, was beaten so badly that he will not be able to play high school sports, contact sports again. And according to rumors, and a lot of this is just rumors because these are minors, none of this is being made public. There have been statements of acknowledgement. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes have acknowledged that there was an incident. Presbyterian College acknowledged there was an incident. D.W. Daniel High School has acknowledged there was an incident, as has the Pickens County School District. The solicitor's office for that circuit has acknowledged there's a criminal investigation, but it's in family court. So there will never be any details of this case. We'll never know what the charges were. We'll never know if if these 3 young men were convicted of a crime, and we'll never know the outcome because it will all be sealed in the family court because they're minors. But we do know something happened. We saw the video. And the rumor has been that these 3 young kids were going to be penalized. They were going to have to sit out 1 game. Of course, the season hasn't started yet, so they haven't been penalized yet. The story is that they had gone back to Daniel and that they've been practicing with the team. This blew up last weekend after the video was posted on social media. And this young man, the victim, posted a statement. His family, his mom particularly, has posted some statements. They have retained legal counsel and have made it clear that they're pressing charges. All week we have speculated that the way this has come down, and the Pickens County School Board on Monday released a statement saying that they had learned about it late last week. Now, it happened July the 7th. And if the school board just learned about it late last week, that's not right either. And it would lead you to think that maybe the coach and Daniel High School was trying to contain this within the school itself. So the latest yesterday, the school district of Pickens County announced yesterday that the head football coach of Daniel High School has been placed on leave. Officials are investigating, they say. They're continuing to investigate the video and what happened. 2 different law firms, the Moorhead Lefevre law firm and Kyle J. White law firm, say that they're representing the family of the minor child who was savagely beaten, according to their release. School District of Pickens County, their statement that was released last Sunday talked about how they were limited in what details they can share due to federal student privacy laws known as FERPA. which stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. The school district said it was following its own district disciplinary policies, adhering to its athletic policy based on the South Carolina High School League guidelines, and cooperating with Lawrence County law enforcement through their legal process. A spokesperson from the district wrote in a statement, "We are aware that there are multiple factors and perspectives in this situation and remain committed to a thorough and fair review of the situation, as well as an investigation of the football program as a whole." Well, the latest is the school district confirming that the Daniel High School head football coach, Chris Stone, is on leave. Now, this coach, and look, I've had a couple of you come to his defense. I did the Mike Gallagher show on Tuesday and had a person call and say that they knew this, that they know this young coach, that he's a good Christian man. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that he's not a good guy. He's brand new. He hasn't even really coached at Daniel yet. He was just hired in the spring. This would be his first season. But he obviously did not think this one through. And maybe he panicked because he's thinking, all right, I'm brand new here. This is going into my first season. I don't need this. Well, no, coach, you don't. But I think he miscalculated on this one. The school district released the following statement as well. "I can confirm that the D.W. Daniel football coach is currently on leave as the district conducts an investigation of the program as a whole. Because this is a personnel matter, we're unable to share additional information at this time." A lot of privacy there. And I get it. You know, hey, you're dealing with these young men. But that's the latest. That's your daily report from Daniel High School. It's a sad story for all of them. For those three young men, those three young men who attacked their teammate, they should never play football again. And I'm sorry for them. The young man who was beaten, the victim, and we can clearly say he was beaten. This is not an alleged attack. We saw it. We saw the video. But his life will never be the same either. This coach, his life will never be the same. There probably will be others. Because I can't imagine a school district and a school board, if in fact what the school board said on Monday, that they just learned about this late last week. If I'm a member of that school board, I want to know from the principal and other school administrators why I'm the last to know about this. Why I have to see this like a lot of other people did on social media. So I'm afraid there are going to be others that are going to get caught up into this and maybe lose their jobs. I'm not sure about this football coach. What do you think? Should he be able to continue to coach high school football? This was obviously a lapse in judgment. Should he be able to return to his job and coach these young men? I don't know. Text me. Email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Leave me a message on the MyPillow message line, 864-477-JOEY. 864-477-5639. When you go to mypillow.com, you know what you do. Always use promo code Joey. You'll get the very best deal on all the products that Mike Lindell has. And by the way, he's got some great products right now. It's like these retail stores. They keep punishing Mike Lindell because of his political beliefs. They've done it again. He's got a huge order that was canceled, which leaves him with a bunch of standard MyPillows. Their loss is your gain, though. MyPillow is offering the classic collection for wholesale prices. Only $19.98 for a standard MyPillow. Gets even better, though. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get a queen-size MyPillow for just $24.98, a king-size for only $29.98. You get the body pillows for $39.98 and the multi-use MyPillows for only $12.98. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Joey. You can also call 800-893-4059, 800-893-4059, and take advantage of this wholesale pricing. Receive $100 in free digital gifts when your order is $75 or more. That's right. Get the My Standard Pillow for only $19.98. All you have to do is throw my name around. Just tell them Joey Hudson sent you, or use promo code Joey when you go to mypillow.com. 800-893-4059. Have your credit card ready and take advantage of this great pricing when you use promo code Joey. So with the story of the high school football camp, you got the story of the white couple being attacked in Cincinnati. Now we also learn of the story in the small town of Danville, Virginia. The victim this time was an elected city councilman who was in his office. He's the editor of Showcase magazine. Lee Vogler is his name, 39 years old, a father, a public servant, longtime Danville City Council member. He was in his office when someone came in, doused him with gasoline, and struck a match, lit him on fire. That quick. Authorities have identified the suspect as 29-year-old Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes, also from Danville. According to police eyewitnesses, Hayes stormed into Vogler's workplace around 11 a.m. on Wednesday, carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline. He poured it on Vogler and ignited it as the councilman tried to escape. What a horrible, horrible thing. Emergency services responded fast. Vogler was airlifted to a regional burn center. As of now, we don't have any confirmation of his condition, but we do know he is seriously injured, and his recovery is not going to be an easy one. This is going to be a long recovery. I just cannot imagine being burned like that and what's going to take place. And look, this wasn't a random act of violence. According to Danville police, the suspect and the victim knew each other. The motive appears to be some personal vendetta this guy had. Still, it doesn't make it any less horrifying. It doesn't change the fact that an elected leader was targeted of an attempted murder in broad daylight in a small city where people know their council members by name and where neighbors just usually get along. We'll have to certainly pray for this young man. Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Furman Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Furman Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Furman Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Furman, Matthew Furman. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Furman Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Furman Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Furman Ford online at furmanford.com, furmanford.com. Well, there's a sigh of relief in California as some big political news from California. Former Vice President Kamala Harris announced she will not run for governor in 2026. After months of speculation and behind-the-scenes buzz, Harris confirmed her decision on social media, saying that she's stepping away from elected office for now, hopefully forever. In her statement, Harris wrote, "I've reflected deeply. For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plans." Now Harris has, she was widely seen as a top contender to succeed California Governor Gavin Newsom. He's term limited, so cannot run for another term. Her decision not to run kind of reshapes the race. Democrat names now in the mix include Lieutenant Governor Alani Kounalakis, Attorney General Rob Bonta, and former L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti. With Harris out, their paths to the primary got a little bit easier and a lot clearer. But let's be honest. It isn't about strategy. It's about reality and political fallout. Harris, of course, led the 2024 Democrat ticket after they pushed Joe Biden off the ticket. She lost badly to Donald Trump, as you know. The defeat severely damaged her national profile. Sources say major California donors weren't excited about backing her again, even in her home state. Republicans wasting no time to seize the moment. Sheriff Chad Bianco, a GOP candidate for governor, said Harris's exit catapults him towards victory. He's been hammering at Democrats over crime, cost of living, the immigration policies of California, calling Harris part of the mess California's in. Question is, are they ready to hear that? Are Californians really sick and tired of what they've got? The GOP's rapid response director, Colin Crompton, didn't hold back either, saying Kamala Harris's political career is over thanks to President Donald Trump. She would have been a disaster for California. Now, Harris made it clear, or at least she seemed to make it clear, that she's not leaving politics altogether. She says she'll campaign for other Democrats, hence that she's working on new methods of leadership outside elected office. Translation, she's stepping back but not disappearing completely. The bigger picture here is about momentum. Democrats are facing a leadership vacuum. Biden's out. Harris is stepping back. Many longtime party figures are retiring. Meanwhile, Trump's base is energized. The America First policies, tariffs, border security, economic rebates are resonating with working-class voters. And the bottom line is Kamala Harris is out of the governor's race. The 2026 field in California is wide open. Once again, all eyes are on a state that often sets the tone for national politics for Democrats. We'll see what they come up with. I'm just glad that she's not running selfishly, because I don't know that I could have taken a year or two of her in the headlines, of constantly seeing what Kamala Harris had to say, of her cackling laugh. I think Kamala Harris is done, don't you? I don't think we'll ever see Kamala Harris, her name on a ballot again. I think she realizes that she was just a terrible candidate. She realizes her own limitations. She can write a book. She can give speeches, because there's still Democrats out there who will pay her to come speak. And she can do that all privately and not have to be out in the open and suffering the ridicule that she suffers, because she does have a way of sticking her foot in her mouth quite often. A bombshell discovery from the FBI that could reshape public understanding of the Trump-Russia investigation. We've been talking about that a lot over the last few weeks, too, as it looks like there could be further investigations of exactly what happened. Well, listen to this. FBI Director Kash Patel says that he has unearthed a massive cache of sensitive documents and computer hard drives that related to the origins of the now discredited Crossfire Hurricane probe. The documents were found buried in multiple, what they are calling burn bags, inside a previously undisclosed secure room at FBI headquarters. According to sources familiar with the investigation who spoke exclusively to Fox News Digital, and they reported it, the burn bag system is traditionally used to destroy highly classified materials. It's not meant to serve as long-term storage, which makes this find even more suspicious. Patel's discovery, sources say, includes thousands of documents, including the classified annex of former special counsel John Durham's final report. That annex reportedly contains raw intelligence that led to Durham's conclusion that there was never credible evidence linking Donald Trump's 2016 campaign to Russian interference. One intelligence official briefed said, "This is a major development. The documents include materials that suggest high-level officials knew the Trump-Russia collusion narrative lacked evidence and moved forward anyway." So what do we know about this latest development? According to sources quoted by Fox News, the declassification of this area and the related materials is being coordinated among some of the most senior figures in the intelligence community. It includes CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who kind of turned this thing upside down a few weeks ago anyway, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Acting NSA Director William Hartman. Sources say that that once fully reviewed and redacted for national security reasons, the documents will be turned over to the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, who is expected to release them to the public. So you and I eventually may get to actually read them. According to the report, intelligence within the annex describes how foreign sources warned U.S. officials before the FBI even launched its Crossfire Hurricane investigation that elements within the Bureau appears to be planning to promote the Trump-Russia narrative, and a source familiar said that it predicted the FBI's next move was going to be disastrous. Now, Patel, who, of course, became FBI director earlier this year, told Joe Rogan in a June podcast interview that he found an entire room filled with documents and hard drives. He said no one had ever seen or heard of these. The room was behind lock and key inside a sensitive compartmented information facility, a SCIF, a room, of course, designed to house classified intelligence. Now, again, why someone left them there, why they weren't destroyed, if they were in burn bags, you would think they were prepared to be destroyed. Did somebody potentially in the Biden-Harris administration who wanted the truth to come out, maybe they left it behind knowing that the Trump administration would find it. Maybe they'd been instructed to destroy it and they didn't. Patel said, just think about this. As director of the FBI, the guy who uncovered Russiagate, I found a hidden room in the Hoover building full of documents Comey and others hid from the world. They locked it, hid the key, and said no one's ever going to find this place. Surely they weren't that stupid. Surely they knew that eventually somebody would find it. Patel's staff, he says, has been combing through the evidence, much of which is now being shared with relevant congressional committees. Some of the information has already been turned over to Grassley, who has led an independent investigation into the origins and abuse of power within the Crossfire Hurricane probe. This could be good news. We could be getting to the bottom of this once and for all. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.